Well, cut the cow's milk and say ciao to chicken, because today is World Vegan Day, where we're all being encouraged to stop using animal products and adopt a healthier lifestyle. Well, since its beginning, the vegan movement has continually been gathering steam as people around the world adopt more sustainable practices, such as eating less meat and not wearing fur. And activists are raising awareness with their actions like this one. And just a warning, you may find the following footage upsetting.
It just feels really sad seeing how desperate these animals look. This is just so unnatural for them, you know, and this is what people are supporting, places like this. I mean, no one really knows about places like this. I mean, this here is one of the secrets of animal agriculture, the parent breeding sheds. And they're not exposed all that often, but they are horrible breeding facilities. And whenever you go out and you buy a chicken breast, or you buy chicken slices, or you buy KFC or chicken wings, you're funding these places, you know. You're responsible for these animals to be in these dark, filthy, rotten hellholes, being forced to mate with each other. They can't escape the roosters in here, you know. There's so much that goes on down the line that you would be completely unaware of if it wasn't for, you know, activists exposing it.
And the man you're seeing there is vegan activist Joey Carbstrong. And Joey joins us now live from London. Good evening, Joey. Thanks for coming on. Firstly, those are really traumatic, worrying scenes that we just played there. Walk us through your story. What prompted you to change?
I have an interesting story, and thank you for having me, first of all. But I have an interesting story, and I come from a past of violence and gangs, and I ended up in prison, and I got sober in prison. This was about 8 years ago, and after coming out and, you know, living a healthier lifestyle, I always thought it was hypocritical to care for certain animals, but have other animals chopped up on my plate, and I felt like a hypocrite. So I had this new lease on life, and I had this transformation, and I spontaneously decided to go vegan. And it just so happens that today is my 8-year vegan anniversary on World Vegan Day. So I've been spending the last few years campaigning for animals and going into farms and exposing slaughterhouses and hoping that people make the connection to the animals, because one of the problems is people have this disconnect from what's on their plate to the animal from which that flesh was torn. And I really want to raise awareness, because I believe most people are good-hearted people. They care about what happens to animals. But when they go to the supermarket and they buy the dairy and the eggs and the flesh, they're doing something that's against their nature, which is to be cruel to innocent beings.
And Joey, you know, some of your methods, many people say, are unorthodox. You've copped a lot of flack for, say, these SeaWorld stunts selling the dolphin tuna and other, you know, stunts where you've gone inside slaughterhouses, etc. What do you say to these people who say it's maybe too much?
Well, the SeaWorld stunt was to get people to understand that they wouldn't eat a dolphin, but they're happy to eat a tuna. And these two animals are conscious beings. They both experience pain and suffering. I was trying to point out a word called speciesism. It's similar to racism, but it's to do with species. People discriminate based on species. And what I'm trying to do is create public awareness. And people aren't going to listen to me unless I do something that's sort of pushing the boundaries in order to raise public consciousness. And it does get media, and people do start thinking about these things. And I do have many people transform their lifestyles because of my my outreach efforts and my activism efforts.
So the first sort of International Vegan Day, Joey, was back in 1994. Tell me, how have things progressed since then?
Well, I was probably about 8 years old in 1994. But you know, just since I've been vegan in the last 8 years, especially in the last 4 years, it's progressed exponentially. And we're seeing more and more people adopting a plant-based diet for health or the environment, but more and more people understanding that animals are sentient, conscious beings who deserve not the exact same rights as humans, but at least the right not to be exploited and killed for an unnecessary reason, like a bit of flesh, when we have these amazing, healthy, plant-based meats. And now we've got plant-based amazing plant-based foods, and it's just so cruel, outdated, and unnecessary. And we really do need to evolve as a species, or it will be too late for the planet. We're doing something that's incredibly unsustainable, but the vegan movement has evolved, and it will continue to evolve because we have to evolve past this outdated medieval way of producing food.
And this, of course, as the Glasgow summit is underway right now in Scotland, how does traditional farming and agriculture play a part in climate change?
Well, cows are producing methane, and I think I'm not a climate specialist, but I'm pretty sure methane over a 20-year period is about 100 times more powerful than carbon dioxide gas. But another big thing with the environment is land use, resource use. We're growing all of this soy, all of these crops to feed to the animals. Then we kill the animals just to get this small amount of protein. It's incredibly insane use of our resources and water. And people are literally starving, and we're feeding all of these crops to animals to then eat a little bit of their flesh. It's the height of injustice. And, we could eat the plants directly. And there was a massive study come out of Oxford University. It said animal agriculture uses 83% of farmland. If we all adopted a vegan diet, we could reduce the Earth's farmland by 75%. Now, that's massive in terms of population growth. We really need to start thinking about that.
You're totally right. And just finally, Joey, fairly briefly, what would you say to people who are thinking about giving it a crack, veganism? What would you tell them?
I would say sign up to Challenge 22 and they'll help you every step of the way. Challenge22.com. It's completely free, and really it's as simple as choosing soy milk, rice milk, the tofu, the vegan section. Find it in your supermarket. It's that easy, and you'll feel a lot better for it.
And there might be parents out there, Joey, watching, with their kids thinking, gee, how am I going to get my kid off its, daily milk drink or whatever? How healthy is it for children to grow up without all of these traditional animal products that we've been used to?
Well, children can be perfectly healthy on a vegan diet, but the science is clear. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics released a peer-reviewed statement stating that human beings can be healthy on a vegan diet through all stages of the life cycle. That's pregnancy, infancy, the elderly, athletes. So this is one of the most prestigious health organizations here saying this. So, just listen to the science. So plants are healthy. The doctors want you to eat more fruits and vegetables. Why do people think that that's an unhealthy choice to make? Just make sure you're supplementing B12 and get an array of different whole foods and fiber, and you'll be fine.